This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
Moses Lake police have released dashcam video of a 17-mile pursuit of a wanted man who allegedly threatened to stab two people before taking their car.
The Catholic Diocese of Yakima on Wednesday released what it says is a complete list of priests and clergy members who committed sexual abuse while in the church.
A swarm of earthquakes have been reported on northern Oregon's Mount Hood over the past 2 days.
The regular season has finally come to an end, and the Columbia Basin River Dogs are gearing up for the Babe Ruth State Championships.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Moses Lake police have released dashcam video of a 17-mile pursuit of a wanted man who allegedly threatened to stab two people before taking their car. Frank Lopez is charged in Grant County Superior Court with felony attempting to elude in connection to his July 7th arrest. Lopez, who was wanted on a Department of Corrections warrant, was located riding passenger in a white Audi in the Walmart parking lot Sunday afternoon. The driver of the car stopped for police near Ulta Beauty, but after several minutes, the driver and a second passenger in the front seat exited the car. Both the driver and passenger claimed Lopez, who was armed with a knife, threatened to stab them if they didn't flee from the traffic stop or get out of the car. According to Moses Lake police, they also told officers Lopez had said he did not want to go back to jail. Officers begin approaching the car as dashcam video partially shows Lopez climb into the driver's seat and take off at a high rate of speed through the parking lot and behind Winco Foods. Police say Lopez ran 2 red lights before heading north on State Route 17, where he reportedly reached speeds of more than 120 miles per hour and was driving on the wrong side of the highway. Lopez slowed to about 35 miles per hour after it appeared the car had mechanical issues as he was heading towards Soap Lake. Police say Lopez eventually came to a stop along SR 17 and was taken into custody without incident. Police also reportedly recovered a folding knife in the car. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Change doesn't have to be complicated. With a low-profile microwave hood combination that's ready to install right out of the box. It fits in the same space as your under-cabinet hood, so you can get your microwave off the countertop and make space for the routines worth keeping. The low-profile microwave hood combination, from the #1 selling appliance brand in the USA.
Whirlpool Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
The Catholic Diocese of Yakima on Wednesday released what it says is a complete list of priests and clergy members who committed sexual abuse while in the church. The list includes victimizers both living and dead who served in parishes throughout the Eastern Washington Diocese. None are any longer serving in the ministry, but during their tenure, priests named on the list attended the faithful in Ephrata, Moses Lake, Quincy, the Wenatchee Valley, Waterville, Chelan, Ellensburg, and elsewhere. Bishop Joseph Tyson said he released the list in the interest of further transparency and accountability. The list names 21 men who were identified by abuse survivors and whose cases were substantiated, whether by an admission of guilt, a legal judgment, or a finding by church investigators. Most recently, Father Gustavo Gomez Santos was stripped of his priesthood in 2017 after fondling a young parishioner in Mattawa 5 years earlier. If you or someone in your life has experienced sexual abuse within the church, the hotline number to report allegations to church authorities is 1-888-276-4490. Jefferson Robbins, iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
A swarm of earthquakes have been reported on northern Oregon's Mount Hood over the past 2 days. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, there have been about 40 quakes registered in an area 5 miles south of the volcano's summit since Monday afternoon. Scientists at the USGS say the series of temblors are at a depth of 2 to 3 miles, and none have been large enough to be felt by humans, with the biggest coming in at a magnitude 2.1 on the Richter scale. USGS officials say this isn't the first such event at Mount Hood, which has experienced similar swarms over the past 20 years. Evidence from previous studies on these events and general seismicity at the 11,250-foot peak are enough for scientists to conclude that this week's swarm is occurring on tectonic fault lines and is not related to any volcanic processes which would indicate an impending eruption. In spite of their high degree of confidence that the mountain is not about to blow its top, seismologists and volcanologists with the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network and the Cascades Volcano Observatory will be keeping a closer eye on Mount Hood in the days ahead. Reporting for iFIBER 1 News, I'm Chris Hansen.
The regular season has finally come to an end, and the Columbia Basin River Dogs are gearing up for the Babe Ruth State Championships starting Wednesday. The River Dogs will be hosting again this year at Johnson O'Brien Stadium in Ephrata. Only one team will battle with the River Dogs for Washington State supremacy, Lakeside Recovery. The River Dogs are familiar with Lakeside Recovery as they remain one of the bigger contenders in the Babe Ruth series in the state of Washington. Despite that, the River Dogs are still heavy favorites to win, with these two teams scoring off earlier this season and the River Dogs emerging victorious 8-0. The two teams will battle 3 times in the span of 18 hours to decide on seeding heading into the regionals. The River Dogs and Lakeside Recovery will play Wednesday night in a doubleheader at 6 and 8 p.m., and the third game will be played Thursday morning at 8 a.m. Whoever wins the most games in the 3-game series will be the number 1 seed in regionals, which begin next week. I'm Adam Jakoski for iFIBER 1 Sports.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.